Hello, I'm BMillzebub and welcome to my channel. I asked and you answered, so over the course of 4 videos, I'm going to watch, react, and comment on the torture porn movie, The Passion of the Christ. I haven't seen this movie in years and I didn't re-watch it in preparation for making these videos. That is, with exception of the first half hour. My first attempt at making this video got taken down and a copyright strike was placed against my channel. Unfortunately, because of the copyright strike, I won't be showing any of the movie on my screen, not that I did the first time around, or now as the added measure, allowing any audio to be captured either, because I don't want to risk another copyright strike against my channel, although I do want to make these videos. But you are all more than welcome to pop in a copy of the movie of your own or find a streaming site that has it to watch for free. And you can either watch along with me or you can just enjoy my reactions to what happened in the movie. So without further ado, let's get to the movie, shall we? He was wounded for our transgressions, crushed for our iniquities. By his wounds we are healed. Isaiah 53, 700 BC. You know why this is, not about Jesus, right? I mean, one, it's in the Old Testament. And two, I don't accept Bible prophecy. It's bullshit to me. But, I mean, like, after my first go through with this, after the copyright strike, I went and looked that up, and there are scholars out there that think it actually is talking about the state of Israel. I mean the old one, not the new one. The old state of Israel from a couple thousand years ago. But now we're in, the Garden of Gethsemane. Boy, this would be so much better with sound. If only Icon didn't put a copyright strike against me. I mean, it's a reaction video, okay? These are supposed to be, like, all the way through. And in this movie, there are enough lulls in the action where you can just talk and go through. But Jesus is coming back up to his friends who are asleep because, that'll happen in the middle of the night. I mean, one, it's late at night. 2, people get bored easily. 3, people get tired when they're bored. Maybe not necessarily tired, but bored enough to fall asleep. Oh, could you not watch for even an hour with me? Watch for what? Jesus, you're a whiny crybaby. So now he's going back to do some more praying. And Peter and I can't remember the other dude's name. Don't give me any shit for it, though. Okay, it's been years since I actually read the Bible. And I'm not even sure that conversation would appear anyway. Oh, by the way, this is the scene where Judas is selling out Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. And if anyone would have had the opportunity to watch my first video, this would be the part where I mentioned that Judas is selling out his best friend for less than the bride price. I mean, this isn't a misogyny thing on my part. This is a misogyny on the part of the Bible. It's a misogyny thing on its part. You know, because in the Bible, women are worth less than men. You know, and the bride price across the board is 50 pieces of silver. You know, and unfortunately for them, that includes raped women. And Jesus, a man, is being sold out for 20 pieces less than that. The Bible's a fucked up book, folks. Oh, and now Jesus is sweating blood. Ironically, there are some Christians out there who claim that the Bible is true. I've only come across one or two of them, but there are crazies out there that'll say this. Well, I haven't come across them. I heard someone say it in an episode of the Atheist Experience. But because Jesus was sweating blood, and it's a real medical condition that actually exists, that proves that this happened. Unbelievable. Sorry about that. I had to take a quick pause to talk to my nephew. But we're back. And with no sound. Isn't it grand? I mean, seriously, the scene, we're still in the Garden of Gethsemane, and Jesus is losing his absolute shit. I mean, he knows he's going to come back from the dead. So why is he freaking out? It's going to be like taking a 3-day-long dirt nap. That's it. And he'll be back. Also, yes, I am drinking coffee. You don't know this, but it's actually 4 in the afternoon where I'm at. That's smart of me, right? Oh, look. It's, the devil or a demon? I don't know. Yeah. And back to the weirdly attractive demon. The weight of sin is far too heavy. Aren't there Bible verses saying that one man can't bear the burden of sin? I want to look that up. I gotta find that. I mean, right now it's just going to be a dialogue between this demon and Jesus. Verses about only bring the weight of sin. This would be fun. Oh, hey, look, Jesus passed out. we go. I think this page might be a little better. Wow. Yeah, I'm not gonna find it in... Oh, look, a snake. Slithering over to Jesus. I wonder if he's gonna crush its head. Spoiler alert. Let me try saying that again, in English, instead of garbled nonsense. Spoiler alert. I'm going to go to the Facebook page I saw this at. Oh, he did crush its head. Who knew? Why am I not finding the thing I'm after? Alright, you know what? I'm not finding it right now, so what I will do is post links down in the description box below. Oh, we got Judas and the Pharisees here. This is fun. And I said this in the last one I tried to make, you know, the one that got taken down. Mel Gibson must have just discovered slow motion, because he absolutely abuses it in here, in this one scene. Like, the guards are shuffling amongst themselves, and it goes slow motion. Like, the only thing that deserves slow motion is right here. Right here, where Judas betrays Jesus. That's it. You know, none of the other bits deserved it. Yet here we are. Yeah. And slow-mo again, for no damn reason. Mel Gibson, you suck. And out of nowhere, Peter turns violent. So let's take a moment to discuss police tactics here. Okay? Today, if someone tries to kill a cop, cops aren't going to fuck around. They're just going to kill you. Okay? It's just going to happen. It's what they're trained to do. And there are many more restrictions on police now than there were back then. Yeah, I mean, the physical abuse they're about to inflict on Jesus is something that they're definitely not supposed to do today. It happens, unfortunately, but you know, cops are people too, and you get some serious shitbags in, you know, pretty much any group. But right now, they got Peter pinned up against a tree, and I really don't think for even a second they would just try to detain him. I think they would be stabbing him repeatedly until he was dead. You know, but Jesus goes over to the guard whose ear Peter just lopped off and picks up some dirt and magically turns it into an ear. Christians are so, like, the evangelicals that actually believe in witchcraft are so against any kind of magic. Right there, Jesus turned dirt into a fucking ear. Magic. Just saying. It's crazy. This is so much more difficult to do commentary to without any sound. So right now they're chaining and tying Jesus up, and one of them takes a pretty thick rope, wraps it around his neck, and pulls. Like, yeah, that's humane treatment. Oh, and one just struck him with a chain. This movie's great. It's not incredibly violent at all. At all. Who am I kidding? I called it torture porn. Okay? I called it torture porn in the intro. But Jesus' mom, Mary, and his prostitute girlfriend, Mary Magdalene, wake up. And apparently tonight feels different from every other night. Oh, and one of the disciples just barges into a woman's bedroom. Would that have been okay? Would it have been okay? But here we have the guards beating the piss out of Jesus a little bit more. And Peter falls in front of the guard who, got his ear cut off. He just awkwardly stares at him. I mean like Twilight level of awkward, where he's just like, oh, and by the way, here's the part that would probably actually kill him. Yeah, I get it, his stomach is, chained up too, but the way he landed, his throat should have been crushed. And if that's not the case, his neck probably would have snapped. It's... This movie is just a damn wasteland of absurdity. Uh-oh, is this a demon? It's a demon. That scene probably scared the piss out of me, actually, when it first came out and I went to see it in theaters. Yeah, see, it was 2004. I was 16 or 17 when it came out. I should have never gone to see this when I was that young. The first time I saw it when I was younger, I remember, how emotionally scarring it actually was. This was a fucked up thing to see at that age. Yeah, got this is just setting up for the temple scene. I mean, there's so many different points where nothing happens in this movie. It's insane. No, so they bring Jesus in front of the Pharisees. All that's happened is an accusation, and they've been beating the piss out of him that whole time. This is kind of where I think, you know, the not even really a joke, but like if I were to say that this is a anti-Semitic masterpiece, I think I would be correct in saying that. You know, because the Jews were being portrayed as barbarians. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of their punishments are barbaric, you know. A death sentence would have been 40 lashes, I think, with a whip. You know, I mean, crucifixion was a Roman thing that, you know, I think the Jews decided to borrow. And Mary pleading with Roman centurion, claiming that her son was brought in illegally, which is probably totally true. I don't remember law, but a Jewish temple guard comes up, pushes her out of the way, looks up at the centurion. She's crazy. Jesus, how old is the women are crazy thing? Like if a woman says something you don't like, she's just crazy. How old is that concept? And one centurion sends the other to talk to Pontius Pilate. Now Jesus is just staring at some old dude, awkwardly. And flashback. A flashback to Jesus building an altar. Yeah, that's fun. So much nothing happening. Like, seriously, you could cut out so much, and the movie would probably be at least half an hour shorter. And Mary's like, why is this table so tall? It's a valid question. And Jesus is like, oh, well, I mean, he likes to, you know, sit in a taller chair. I mean, is this rich man he's making a table for going to be eating by himself? Because there's really only enough room for one food placement on that table. Jesus loves his mommy. You know, doing this second take feels really inorganic to me. Thank you so much for, you know, sending me a copyright strike and having my first video taken down. I appreciate it. I really do. Because, I mean, I get to do this again, and everyone can tell it doesn't feel as organic as the first time around. Yes, Pontius Pilate goes and looks at his wife sleeping. Okay, look, it's the centurion from before. And of course, Pilate's wife has some idea who they're talking about. And now he's being questioned by the Pharisees. He's been brought here as a blasphemer, blah, 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 blah. Jesus is just sort of standing there. Taught openly and in the temple, blah, blah. And a guard. Hey, see, these people are fucked up, man. You know, is this how you address a high priest? Punch in the face. Grow up. If I've spoken evil, what evil have I said? But if not, why do you hit me? That's a good question, Jesus. That's a good question. And one of the guards holding the chains, not letting Jesus run away. Just the most organic laugh I've ever seen. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah, I believe that's a real laugh. Calls himself the King of the Jews. All right. No, he calls himself the Son of God. Yeah, well. Judas is scratching his face against a stone pillar. That's gotta be comfortable. And for a second, the high priest is using sense. You know, I mean, this baseless claims, give proof or be quiet. One of the other Pharisees just spoke sense, you know, called it a travesty, I think. Now another one's asking where the members are, why is this meeting so late at night? And they throw him out too. Oh, it's this second one that calls it a travesty. Seriously, what the hell? This is... yeah, this is the part where Jesus is going to commit another blasphemy. Are you the Messiah? Wait for it. I am, and you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power. There it is. So the high priest says blasphemy, and then he tears his shirt. So There's actually an interesting history in Judaism about, rending your shirt like that. It's meant to convey um, mourning or sorrow, anger in some cases. A common occasion to do that is if a child or a loved one died. So now they're beating the piss out of Jesus a little more. And now, proud of his work, the high priest goes away. And now for the 3 times Peter denies Jesus. I mean, seriously, a beating like this, I don't think very many people would survive it. I mean, we're talking about Jesus, a guy who is pretty unaccustomed to having physical violence visited on him. What are the chances he survives such a savage beatdown? Like, I really don't think the chances are good. And now the flashback to when Jesus told Peter that he'd deny him. Funny story, that. I mean, seriously, isn't it stuff like this that is supposed to be basically throwing out the idea of free will? I mean, all this prophecy, stuff that's going to happen in the future. I mean, it totally violates the concept of free will. And Christians shoot themselves in the foot with it every time. And Peter says, I've denied him, I'm unworthy, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, no, the free will argument goes completely out the window, and Christians will sometimes contradict themselves in the same sentence. Oh, Judas wants a refund. But yeah, no, they'll say that we have free will, and in the same breath, they'll say nothing can happen against God's will. Everything's predetermined. Well, if everything's predetermined, if everything happens according to God's plan, who has free will? Where does this free will come from? And Judas throws the silver back at them. Something which, if I'm not mistaken, is not necessarily consistent in the Bible. And some little kids are talking to Judas. He calls them little Satans. They're like, are you cursed? This movie is just weird. You know, now these little kids actually look like they're possessed. It's simply amazing. And Judas is having a small freak out. I say small, but it's a full-blown freak out. But I think that's good a place as any to, stop the film. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, if you haven't taken the time to watch it yet, check out my new Criticisms of the Catholic Church series where I discussed the Church's wealth. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click the notification bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, linked below, to keep up with all my comings and goings. Take it easy, everyone, and I will see you all in the next one.